Now be seen for the pro team is special. And here we go, we're underway in the city by the bay, and the Valkyries win the tip. This is Veronica Burton, year 5 for Veronica, and having what her teammates think is already an all-star campaign. Williams kicking out. And that is, as Sarah mentioned, how the Valkyries look to do their damage. Kayla Thornton off the mark from 3. Valkyries 1-2 here this week already. Aces have lost their last 2. Snap a little slide. Jackie Young, that'll do.
And we heard Sue Bird talking in the pregame about Jackie Young getting going. That's a great way to get things started. Find her an easy one.
And this is the former ace, Kia Stokes, off the heel down to Asia Wilson. Chelsea Gray, the 4-time champion. Won the title with the Los Angeles Sparks before the 3 in Vegas. Jackie Young taking her time there, patient, but left it a little bit short.
You see, though, Golden State loves to really fill up the gaps. They have great gap defense, and they have an ability to stop and recover quickly.
Here is Gabby Williams. Over to Burton. Stokes coming up to screen 4. Burton uses it. Keeps her dribble. Smart play there by Veronica Burton.
Veronica Burton just continues to flourish, and she is comfortable with the ball in her hands, but the growth of her reads and how she sees the defense is evident game by game.
Coming off a season-high 25 points in a thrilling Valkyries win over the Indiana Fever here on Thursday. Talent, too strong. Wilson up for the rebound over her former teammates.
A big-time play there, and those are some of the things for this Aces group that they do the dirty work. Someone like Wilson finding those easy baskets and getting a chance to get it on the glass.
Here's Williams, had a chance to sign, maybe with Vegas in the offseason. A lot of teams wanted her, but she wanted to come here to the Bay.
She said she wanted to win.
Saying something, huh? Year 2, expansion franchise.
That was one of the biggest reasons you see it and how she plays.
Williams, a 2-time Olympian with the French national team. Asia Wilson, too strong on that fadeaway. Here's the former Northwestern star, Veronica Burton. Kayla Thornton was an all-star for the Valkyries last year before a knee injury ended her season. So still working her way back, letting Burton and Williams kind of carry the offensive load at the moment. Shot clock winding down. Stokes around and out. And Cecilia Zandalacini with the crash. Turns, faces, fires off the mark.
They don't get it there.
Taken away. Williams doing the dirty work.
The second in the league in second chance points.
And another good look, but around and out it goes.
Coming up empty, but that's going to be pivotal for Las Vegas.
And Young on the other end ahead of the pack. And both players a little bit slow to get up. We'll keep an eye on that because no Jewel Lloyd today for Las Vegas. Out with a left leg injury. Dana Evans still yet to debut this season because of a leg injury of her own. Just a little less depth for Vegas today. Here's Williams putting it on the deck. Swatted by Asia Wilson. Gosh, she comes out of nowhere, doesn't she?
And that's a big point of emphasis for the Aces, improved defense.
Chelsea Gray halfway down and pops back out. And then Alyssa Smith with the rebound and the putback.
And both teams, you see the aggressiveness. We talked about the tenacity between these groups and Vegas wanting to get out of this losing streak they've been on the last couple games.
Nice crossover by Burton. Couldn't finish on the finger roll. Vegas does like to push, and a rare turnover by Jackie Young just kind of bounced out of her hands.
Yeah, and for both of these teams, they do a great job taking care of the basketball. It's a big aspect of what's been important for them offensively. Overall, though, I like how the Aces have been more locked in and connected on the defensive end. Said it earlier, we talked to Becky Hammond in the early part of the season. Every stop we go along just wanting to see that area of the floor shored up, and a big part of it is communication and clarity, and early on they have been tight.
And great pace to our game so far because, Sarah, that was our first whistle. Back and forth we have gone. Burton. Williams squares his shoulders, fires, and hits from outside.
There's a lot you could say about Gabby Williams, how she's continued to add to her game. And that three-point shot was a major part of it these last couple seasons, getting more and more consistent.
Speaking of great three-point shots, Asia Wilson off the mark on that one, but came into this game actually leading the league in three-point percentage. She was 9 of 14 first 7 games before that attempt. Oh, what a move, but couldn't finish for Zandalacini.
handful of shots around the rim and opportunities that Valkyries just haven't capitalized on.
Kickball by Williams. Out of bounds it goes. So Kyla Charles, who had been starting.
Gabby Williams stepping right into that three-point shot. You think about her and the prowess she has defensively, offensively. She is a three-level scorer. And you talked a lot about playing under Natalie Nicasi, the freedom she's had, how much she has been comfortable having the ball in her hands and what she can do on the offensive side.
Yes, that was not the case in Seattle. And Wilson's too strong on the elbow, Jay. And that's one of the things that Nicasi and the Valkyries are asking of Williams this year, to help take a little bit of the burden off of Veronica Burton, like she is right here. Seven on the shot. Burton, patient. Off 1 foot. Honor too strong there. Smith the rebounds. 8-7 Aces early. 5 to play in our first quarter. Young looking to get it to Wilson. Williams trying to deny that. Double comes. Touch pass from Gray. Over to Jackie Young for the tray.
A great ball movement, inside, outside passing. You're going to see that because Wilson will command double teams more often than not.
A whistle. The Bay Area native Gray, who disagrees it. Well, let's take a look at our DraftKings player tracker. 4:30 to go in our first quarter.
View their responsibilities as coaches, and you can see it in the way that their teams and players have found success.
Okay, but I'm curious about Becky's blazer today. Is she stating for the record that she is the queen bee?
Oh, no. You always looking fresh.
Amir has checked in, leaves that one off the mark. Let's say hello to Caroline Pineda, who has more on the coaches today.
Well, hi, Kate. When Natalie Nicasi was hired to coach the Valkyries, she said it was so hard to leave Vegas that she had previously turned down interview requests for other jobs. Becky finally asked her, what are you doing? And said, you have to take these interviews, but we can get back into that in a little bit, Kate.
Yeah, because of a massive swat by Leticia Ami here on Kennedy Carter. And the crowd loving the defensive play, but we're all worried about Kennedy at the moment. All right, being helped back up by her teammates. Let's take another look.
Turn the corner. Ami here. Yeah, comes over, just gets her on the hip, but I think it's how Carter falls on that left hip on the way down.
What a swat, though.
Yeah, some big-time help by Leticia Ami here, who, player by player, you talk about the Valkyries' defense, and it's collectively how they work together, but a lot of excellent individual defenders, and you're going to continue to see that in how they play.
So foul on Ami here, who followed Asia Wilson as the big at South Carolina. And Kennedy Carter is in conversation early in the season, limping back on defense, so we'll keep an eye on Kennedy. But for in that 6th Player of the Year conversation, she has been a spark plug for the Aces off the bench. Gabby Williams, good look for her there.
And that's a tough shot for Gabby Williams, coming off the screen, going to her right, the pull-up shot. More often than not, you talk about players and forcing them to put it on the ground. That's where she has been so good.
Golden State, 2 for 6. The touch pass, the no look from Gray. Over to Carter. So at least at the moment, still limping back on defense, though. But found enough energy to get that shot off. 3.5 to go, first quarter here. Aces with a 5-point lead. The driving kick out to Thornton, who has a 3.
Great to see for Kayla Thornton, kind of looking up at the sky. She's someone, too, coming off the season where she was injured, but an all-star year, trying to get herself back going.
Smith with some space at the elbow. Good look, couldn't finish. Thornton pushing for Golden State. Charles, slot triple, too strong. And he's here with the offensive rebounds. Thornton has to go from the right side. Different spot, same results.
Big time from Kayla Thornton. You see the smile, and already these teams playing to their scout.
And a turnover. Charles. Thornton swatted by Wilson. And an offensive foul whistled on Charles because Chelsea Gray, one of the best at that in the W, stood her ground and took it, I believe.
You mentioned Kayla Thornton. Suffered that right knee injury last July. missed the end of the season. She was named an all-star, though, a major part of this Valkyries team. And as she's coming back, you look right there. Excellent job just finding her space, getting her feet set. She's been searching for her shot with consistency, and was hoping this is a good start to it.
Yeah, so far so good this afternoon. Young trying to get it back to Wilson. A lot of pressure thrown her way. And that one is too strong. Turner just checking in for Las Vegas. Here's Caitlin Chen, backup point guard. Around and outs for Salon. We're talking similar to Kennedy Carter for Las Vegas. Janelle Salon is the bench punch for Golden State. And that player will punch you wherever she is on the floor, Asia Wilson.
And already you've seen, though, Las Vegas, how they want to push. And whether it's on the break or just some of this early offense, they're going to look to get it quick.
Chen behind the back, blocked by Carter. And yeah, Kennedy Carter is in pain. After making that great defensive play, fell down and smacked the hardwood in frustration. She is fighting through it right now.
Let's take a look. She gets up in the air here, and I don't know if that same hip, she just falls down again. And the bench has been a huge aspect, both for the Aces and for the Golden State Valkyries. But as you mentioned, this Aces team playing without Jewel Lloyd, it's a key component to that reserve unit.
So even more important today. Here's Salon leading the Golden State bench. And another block by the Aces, this one by Turner. Chen with two defenders on her, and it doesn't matter. And they love Caitlin Chen here at Valhalla. 19-17 Valkyries, a 9-2 Golden State run. Wilson asking for it. Connor. Pass Charles. And a whistle. Couldn't hear it because it is so loud in here. And Nakase is beside herself at that whistle. And Carter still wincing.
You like that by Carter, though, just to get freed up. Valkyries putting a lot of pressure on the ball, and you see they're doing everything they can to smother and be really physical with Asia Wilson.
So 2 free throws coming here for Kennedy Carter.
I've played in a lot of jerseys, but I don't think I've looked this good in a while. I feel like I really look good in an Ace jersey. It's been a journey. To be honest, I never even thought that I would get the call. When I got the call, I was shocked. It was surreal. Really happy to be here, and I'm blessed and thankful they gave me the opportunity.
Love that. As Carter takes care of business at the line, averaging 19 points a game so far this season.
It has been a journey. It's been a tumultuous start to her WNBA career, and she's a young player just learning how to fit in and how to fit in with this culture and with the standard that the Aces have set, the foundation that they have built as a championship pedigree team.
It's a long two. Back and forth we go here at Golden State. Carter with 6 off the bench for the Aces already. Whips a pass out to Talbot. Trying to get it inside to Bell. Valkyries last to touch it, though, so 8 on the shot clock for Vegas. Great inbound. Carter with 5. Gray, the fake. And Chelsea Gray, always calm and confident under pressure. Shot clock winding down, draws the foul.
So savvy, and her former teammate and Tiffany Hayes, but that's where she's patient. She works so well, especially in the middle of the floor, really from anywhere on the court. She doesn't get sped up, but she understands how to keep her defender off balance to gain an advantage.
And one of the things we talked about with Valkyries head coach Natalie Nakase was getting hands up but not fouling, because the Aces are so confident when it comes to that, obviously, the championship pedigree.
Playing defense without fouling is something that every coach asks for, and a lot of that starts positionally, and it's something that the Valkyries do well, but for an Aces team that operates so much and so heavily in the paint, it's something that you have to be very mindful of.
Gray's first 2 points this afternoon tie us at 21. There's former member of the Aces, Tiffany Hayes. Down by Talbot.
She is so speedy and explosive when getting to the basket, and how she turns the corner. That's exactly what she wants to do. Going to her left with Talbot on her and just embraces some of that contact to get herself to the free throw line.
Playing like she's a second-year player, Sarah. You're 14 for the player they call Tip Hayes here at Golden State. Burton and Charles checking back in for the Valkyries. Actually retired from the W back in December of 2023. Said, I played a decade plus, I'm good. And then it was the Aces who lured Hayes out of retirement end of May 2024, and she just went on to win the 6th Player of the Year that year. Go home.
A tremendous year, and she's a pivotal partner. It's not just her play on the floor, but the leadership and the veteran experience that she provides, especially for this Golden State group.
About a 2-second difference here between shot and game. Charles trying to slow down Carter. Screen comes. Stokes the high hedge. Kennedy goes around it, kicks back. Gray with 3. With 2, Chelsea Gray with 2 defenders on her. Off the heel, and that will not count, and it will not go. Well, we expected this one to be competitive. Just 5 points average through the last couple of games. As Sue and Cheryl and Latina were talking about, pregame struggled a bit, but 7 in the first quarter.
Yeah, 7 in the first quarter. She got that quick one early. I think it's important to remember Jackie Young having a career high in assists so far this season, almost 6 a game, and defense is a huge aspect of what she brings to the table. So start at that end.
Gray trying to find Talbot on the no-look, just a little bit behind her. Golden State takes it away. Here's Hayes. The southpaw stroke is wide right. Carter starting this second quarter. Leg looking okay, getting up for that rebound. Again, kind of fell awkwardly after having a shot blocked in the first quarter. And Kirsten Bell still looking for her first points of this 2026 season, which feels wild to say.
Yeah, she was a pivotal part, especially the run last year, and also just the spirit and the joy that she's brought here, spending her time with the Aces and what she brings not only to the court, but the locker room.
Hayes has a shot partially blocked by Turner, and Talbot will push. Second in pace in the W this season so far are the Aces. Gray short on the jumper. Thea Stokes, a couple of former Aces combining for that handoff. Salon squares, fires, that one's wide right.
And Las Vegas doing a better job getting out on those contests because the Valkyries will quick shoot from 3.
A whistle there. And that was one of the things that Becky Hammond spoke with us about after the Aces dropped their last 2, and especially in the second half against Dallas on Thursday. Just too many open looks in their loss to the Wings.
Initiating all of those things, though, I think early on for the Aces, they've already gotten to the line 6 times, and the big discrepancy with that is for a team that leads the league in points in the paint to be at the bottom towards free throw attempts is not stats you often see lined up in that fashion.
As Wilson finds Talbot for the triple. Yeah, that was what we talked about with Hammond about that post-game quote the other night.
Again, early on, they are getting themselves to the line, so maybe that message was being heard.
Heard and delivered. And Veronica Burton delivers a 3 of her own right back. Again, this is how Golden State likes to score now. 6 of 14 from outside, 43% this afternoon. Aces 3 for 8. Asia Wilson. A lot of Wilson's shots have been too strong, hitting the back iron so far this afternoon. And Gray gonna get called for the reach. Doesn't like it, but.
And you see right there, Carter coming out on Veronica Burton. But you said it, this Golden State team will show multiple alignments, have a pretty free-flowing offense, and how they use actions. A big part of their emphasis, too, against the Aces as well. Part of your defense against them is making them work on both sides of the floor. And you see 5 3-pointers made there in that first quarter already.
Yeah, came into this game. This is game 8 on the season for both of these teams. Came in with 73 made 3-pointers, third most all time through the first 7 games, and this is your 30 of the W. Shot clock about to expire. The rainbow 3 hits iron, and Burton tracks it down. Squares your shoulders. That one's going to be wide left. And asking for the foul, not going to get it. Burton and Young were there behind the arc. It's just going to be Las Vegas basketball. For Burton so far this afternoon, 6 for Thornton, 8 for Gabby Williams, leading the way for Golden State. Jackie Young with 7. leader in the clubhouse so far for the Aces. Zandelicini pushing for the Valkyries. 26-24 Golden State. Starks on the handoff. And Becky Hammond was happy initially with the pressure.
I was going to say until that foul, because you saw how it extended.
Yeah.
Golden State was in their offensive set, and what they were trying to do didn't get a lot of clean looks, and that's what you want to do your best against them.
On Smith, her first. 6:40 to go in our first half. First of 3 meetings this season as Williams draws the foul on Talbot. It's a 3 between the Valkyries and the Aces.
It's so good with the stop and pop. Talbot, it's a little bit too much. She had her hand over the top, and that's a recognition we see of Gabby Williams slowing down. Watch, as soon as the hand's up, coming right through.
A little bit on that right arm.
I don't know. It looked at it in real time, though, watching the replay.
And again, such a great story. Gabby Williams, born in Sparks, Nevada, which is near Reno, about 3.5 hours from the Bay here, but played her AAU summer ball here in the Bay for the Bay Area Bulldogs and the Mission Rec Rebels. Stayed with a host family and could not say enough about what it means to now be playing professional basketball here in the Bay. As Gray, another Bay native, kicks out, and Talbot connects from the corner. That is why they brought Talbot in. Can do a little bit of everything. Not going to draw up a lot of plays for her, but will deliver when her teammates find her.
Part of the development you want to continue to see in her contributions is to not shot the 3 as well that she's probably capable of, but she's a player that does the little things, and she's slotted into the starting lineup, but still kind of trying to find her fit and find exactly all the areas where she can be most impactful.
And with more on the Aussie, let's go over to Caroline.
Well, Kate, when I asked her why Las Vegas, she said from the conversations with Becky, she could tell it was the right fit, and she liked the role that she had for her. Talbot was excited about the opportunity to play with some of the best players in the league, and as for her role, Steph said it's early, we're still figuring it out. Most of this team has been together for a while, and Steph said she just wants to help wherever she can. One way she thinks she can do that is pushing the tempo on defense, but Sarah, where do you feel like she's made the biggest impact so far?
Zandelicini with the finish for Golden State.
I think it is pushing the tempo on defense. I think it's doing the little things, but she's lengthy, she's active. She should be able to guard multiple positions. She's also got a level of experience playing in the Olympics for Australia and just what she's done internationally. So there is a calmness and poise that she presents.
From way outside, Zandelicini for 3. And lost.
You asked for some selfies. Don't lie.
And we've got 3-second violation. No, we got a foul. Wow. An offensive foul, okay, on Asia Wilson. And Wilson is not happy.
I'll say this much. She has got multiple bodies on her every possession. The Valkyries are making sure to keep not only the close contact with her, but be really physical, so you can understand where her frustration coming from.
Yeah, just 4 points for her so far this afternoon. Smith over to Talbot. 2 for 7 from the floor. Gray gets it down to her. What a pass from Chelsea Gray. 3 defenders around Wilson, and she gets her own miss and puts it back up and in.
And there you see some of that contact early, finishes that off. What a dime. That's where Chelsea Gray is so special, always putting it right on point.
Burton, the driving kick. On off iron from the corner. Yeah, I wonder what it was like to play 3 flies up with Chelsea when they were little. Underneath this time to Smith on the turnaround for 2.
There's this early offense that you expect to see from Las Vegas, doing a great job, especially when it's 1 and out defensively, being able to push and find some of those early looks.
Back and forth we go. Aces had call time, trailing by 3. Now back-to-back Vegas buckets to take the lead. Thornton way off on that one. Great save attempt there by Zandelicini into the hands of Young, though. Talbot sets her feet, fires. Short on that 3. Another offensive rebound by Smith. Into the hands of the Valkyries, though. Williams with 10. With Wilson in her face, left it a little bit short. Williams 2 for 4 now from 3. Great look that time from Talbot down to Wilson.
You see it, and it's Wilson so often from Melissa Smith. It doesn't matter who it is. There's always a big that ends up running so hard, trying to get those early seals and looks.
Now the Crown trying to get their Valkyries back into this one. Just over 3 to go in our first half. Zenna Lucini again. Missed 4 games this season with a concussion. And the Valkyries so happy to have her back, getting her first start of the year here this afternoon. Wilson, the skip. Smith, tough bucket underneath by Melissa Smith.
They're working single coverage. And that, though, is an example of Las Vegas, how they do it extra job, getting it to the second side. Working the shift of the defense, then being able to make those quick entry passes.
11 assists now on 14 made field goals for the Aces. The driving kick. And that 3 is good for Janelle Salon. (39-38) Golden State. And E40 didn't say it, but somebody blew the whistle.
No, I'll say it. We keep saying it. These two teams, they are playing to the scouting report. Chelsea Gray trying to work over to the top of the screen, drive and kick. They love the spray outs. They got shooters that set up in the corner, and Janelle Salon, she is a scorer. She's added so much to her game here in her second year, but three-point shooting is a big part of it.
And speaking of three-point shots, Gray from outside. And a foul on the floor. Smith had her hands on another offensive rebound. And she was fouled trying to grab it.
Melissa Smith has done a tremendous job working inside position anytime a shot goes up. And that really is a big strength of what Golden State typically does. I think sometimes you look at the numbers of Las Vegas, and the thing is they're so efficient on the offensive side of the floor. There's not always a lot of offensive rebounds to clean up, but Smith has been working and doing a great job finding these extra possessions.
Foul is on Salon, her second. Another double comes Wilson's way. She steps through it and gets the roll and lets out a yell.
How tough. She's surveying the floor. She's looking for teammates and then just splits it. You have got to be tighter to try and control her.
And just like that, she's got 10. Hayes to the cup.
You gotta know Hayes wants to get to her left, and she is so quick on the straight line drives downhill.
11th lead change already. 41-40 Golden State. And we having fun yet, W fans. The scoop doesn't go for Gray. A battle underneath for it, and we got a jump ball. Salon saying, I ripped it away from her. That should be Valkyries basketball. I think the fans might agree.
I'm pretty sure the fans would agree with anything. That is the way of the Valkyries. You see the disbelief on their fans' faces, their head coach's face.
What a great atmosphere here. Now, this is our upcoming schedule brought to you by Ally. USA Network tomorrow starting us off with the Storm at the Wings. And then we've got here on Peacock and NBCSN, the Lynx and the Mercury. And then Wednesday, another W-header on USA. Toronto at New York, Phoenix up in Seattle. For more on those games, go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. Seeing a little more physical here as this first half winds down. The side step from Salon. Off the heel, Burton with it. He's got 5 so far. 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Williams, the pull-up. Wilson, the rebounds.
And you see a team that takes a lot of three-point shots often lends itself to those long rebounds, and Golden State aware of that.
Wilson swatted by her former teammate Stokes, but it's not going to count a whistle.
It's fun to see those two going back at it with one another, winning championships together and now competing against one another. It's tough to see from that angle.
Yeah, are they calling it on Williams or are they calling it on Stokes? Let's see. Okay, they called it on Stokes?
They must have, yeah, if she's at the line shooting.
What a second quarter it has been for the best player in the game right now, A'ja Wilson.
And also there's a little bit of that right hand on the hip and then comes through. I'm not sure if she gets her as well on the forearm. And we said this is a big aspect. Can the Aces get to the line more, shoot more free throws? Frazier Wilson, a player that is as physical as she is and how much she attacks, you would anticipate that.
There's 4 points in the first quarter. Wilson has 9 in the second. She's leading us with 13. That one, a rare turnover by Golden State.
And that's where, hey, get her to go right. She's right at the basket. I almost would have loved to just see her finish at the rim as opposed to looking for that kick out.
Just their second turnover of this first half, Sarah.
And that's how they play.
Yeah.
You know, the fewest turnovers in the league.
Yep.
And so it also allows them more often than not to come back and set up their defense, which lends itself to why they are also so good at that end.
Yeah, they only turn it over 10 times a game right now. Tops in the W. 3-second difference between shot and game. Goddard using the Wilson screen. Gray past her defender. The fake, the kick. Talbot short on the triple. Rebound to Stokes. Burton heaves. And that will do it for our first 2 quarters. They're Ball Holla in San Francisco.
Executed their offense, and she said actually not well. She said we're not following the game plan on either end. They talked about it at halftime, looked at clips, and she said we understand now better what we're trying to do. I asked from that game plan, what's the focus? And she said we're not protecting the paint, we're not out-rebounding the Aces, we're just not being disciplined enough in general.
And against an Aces team, Caroline, you know you have got to be extremely disciplined because of how good they are offensively. And overall, they have gotten what they wanted. They've played at the pace that they've needed to and really been so dominant in the paint as they typically are.
Sandrosini kicking to Thornton. Trying to get it up and over Asia Wilson. Yeah, good look.
And there's another example. It's a really nice defensive possession by the Aces, force a tough contested mid-range jumper from the Valkyries. That's exactly what Las Vegas will want to do. And also for the Aces, they've shot the ball well from 3. They just don't take as high of a volume.
4 for 14 in the paint now are the Valkyries. Asia Wilson again. Quiet. Oh my goodness. I have only seen that happen, I think, at a state fair, Syracuse stuff. That was wild. I have not seen a wedgie like that in the WNBA.
You mean the
before.
Process of how this got wedgied?
Yeah. You don't usually see it bounce around and up and down unless you're trying to win a stuffed animal.
That was an amazing shot fake to begin with. That pretty much looked like it was going all the way
Give her
down.
the bear. Come on. She said we're going to jump.
Said, you take the bear, I will take a bucket.
There you go. But again, Wilson, I know the trio talked about it at halftime, but just 4 points in the first quarter, 9 in the second. Great shot fake there by Wilson. And then she's fouled. Count it. And the bucket.
A big time play. And if Natalie Nkase didn't like what she saw defensively on the spot in their shooting pockets, a different level of elevation to her game, it feels like every single day.
And I'd say that package
it's just a beauty.
Showed off the passing prowess pretty nicely.
She has seen every defensive coverage they could toss at her.
Burton takes it to the cup but couldn't finish. And this place is the quietest we've heard it since pregame. Jackie Young halfway down before it pops back down. It was not a challenge. We were curious if Natalie Nkase was challenging the foul on Thornton.
She was just getting after her team, saying that this is exactly what I talked about at half.
Good hands by Chelsea Gray, and then behind the back. Thornton and Gray collide. On the go. Zandalasini, the step back. Burton in there battling, but it comes to Young. Jackie Young having a good game as well. 10 points in her 19 minutes so far. Wilson was 16 in her 19. The skip. Steph Talbot launches a 3, a little bit too strong there. Burton is 5 points so far for her. And we got an offensive foul as Gray took the contact to the face, and Chelsea Gray still down.
Once again, the get back of Chelsea Gray being in position. Let's take a look right there. Is Burton
on the rip through.
She coming through and just clips her on the chin. Ooh, the side of the face.
Yeah, because of the contact to the head, they might look this over. Nkase out there discussing with Randy Richardson, our crew chief. Teresa Stuck, Gina Cross, our crew today.
Foul that she wants offensively. And for the Aces, you know Becky Hammond, what she told Carolina is what she told her team. We have not been good in second halves. We need to come out with more focus, and they have.
Outscored 50-34 in the second half Thursday in Dallas, and you got to jump on.
It's a really solid collapse by Valkyries on that post. Aces love those high-low post-entry passes. Smith had some good position. That was a beautiful pass, but the Valkyries just swallowed it up.
Sandalosini and Smith to jump it up. Bounces into the hands of Jackie Young. Wilson facing up, double from behind. Young using Wilson, a hard screen from Asia there, gets it back and puts it up and in. That was beautiful offense by Vegas.
Beautiful offense too, because Jackie Young probably could have taken that little elbow jumper herself, but realized with the shot fake, the bounce, an even better look for a player like Wilson on the post.
7-0 Aces run to start this third quarter. So I think they heard their coach. Williams short on the turnarounds. Talbot saves it to Gray. Gray. Wilson thought about the three again, shooting tremendously well from outside the arc so far this season. Another double team, and an offensive foul. I believe they're calling it on Melissa Smith underneath. And Gabby Williams is the Valkyrie down. And this has been physical from the jump. Kennedy Carter took a hard fall after being fouled on a drive in the first quarter. We just saw Gray get popped a couple of minutes ago, and now Gabby Williams is slow to get up, and they might be looking at this one as well.
What's right here? So Melissa Smith coming through on the block out. So watch right here. Smith is coming through the block out. Williams. I would say the tough part about this one as well, and I know she was anticipating a shot potentially going up, but she gets her before a shot even happened. They want to play offensively in working this Aces defense.
Williamson, 73% free throw shooter, hits the first. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on this circle. 50-41 was the score when this happened. It feels like it could be one of those momentum moments because it happened all Aces in the third quarter. This place had fallen quiet. The energy had left the building. So let's see.
And less just about the foul itself, but more about not allowing the Aces to continue on their run and play at the pace that they want to and do their best to extend this to double digits.
So Williams hits them both. Already a 2-point swing. Let's see if there's more. Crossover, the scoop. Off iron, loose ball picked up by Smith. So the Aces limits Golden State to 2 on that trip. 50-43 Las Vegas. Aces looking to snap a 2-game slide. Valkyries looking to push their win streak to 3. Wilson lost it. Burton. Williams thinks better of taking it to the cup. Good work once again by Chelsea Gray to get back on defense.
Yeah, good work defensively by Valkyries. A gap help there on Wilson.
Burton out to Thornton, who has another 3. A 10th triple this afternoon for the Valkyries.
Thornton had a couple early. She hasn't had a lot of touches or looks since that first quarter, but she's come up big.
Just like that. Valkyries back into this one. And who did the Aces go to? The MVP. Wilson started just 2 for 8 this afternoon. Valkyries were doing a great job frustrating her.
Gave a little sigh and looking up when she saw that one go through. You know she's knocked down from the elbow.
7 for her last 8. Thornton thought about a long distance trade. This time taking it to the cup, and Wilson wipes it away. Young. Wilson running the floor, and she's fouled.
Man, Asia Wilson is just special. And it's the thing she does defensively. It's not just the fact that she got this block. So you want to talk about a big-time block, tracking and timing. But she gets it off the rim. She recovers it. She's not just swatting. She then gets it quick on the head and get ahead. She's running the floor. Her motor does not stop. But it's all those little things that is what make her so excellent.
MVP and Defensive Player of the Year last season, and Asia Wilson is doing work right now here in the Bay. she was listening to the broadcast, Sarah. Early in the second quarter, we said, well, Wilson's having a quiet day, just 4 points.
You said that, I didn't say that.
Yeah, sorry about that. 20 and counting now. And this time, the swat by Talbot. And this is where I tell our viewers the Aces lead the league in blocks per game.
Wow, Asia Wilson's coming at it. Does a great job here. Once again, reading this play.
Double block, huh?
But that's a part of it. And quite frankly, that's what the Aces need to do with this early part of the season.
And the foul there.
Their offense has been working, and I know it's the building blocks. Once again, Becky Hammond talks so often that you start at the bottom of the mountain every season. It doesn't matter that we've won 3 of the last 4 championships. It's still refined in all different areas on the floor, but defensively is where they need to continue to connect.
Yeah, so far so good this afternoon. Well, let's take a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. A couple of games tomorrow, one on Peacock and NBCSN. Lynx are in Phoenix. You're on the call of that one, so I hope you're ready to run after this one's over.
Got our bag set, ready to
and on USA,
play.
the Storm are down in Dallas to take on the Wings, and then a doubleheader on USA on Wednesday. I'll be in New York for that one against the Tempo. Sandy Brondello returning to take on her former team, and then the Mercury up in Seattle. For more on these games, go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. Appreciate all of you being with us this afternoon here on NBC. Kate Scott, Sarah Kusta, Caroline Pineda. So happy to be a part of year 30 in the WNBA. Get to cover players like these. Jackie Young rattles in the triple. She's got 13 and counting this afternoon.
Big to see. Another excellent screen set by Asia Wilson, and where Las Vegas does such a good job in those actions, setting screens, working the pick and rolls.
Pushing the lead back to 10. Bray with the takeaway. And then she's fouled. A little frustration foul there, asking for maybe a transition take foul. And it looks like it's going to be.
Look right here. Wilson just clearing a lot of space. Thornton's on the drop. Hayes just kind of with her hands up. And this is where, for Jackie Young, been a big aspect of her game the last couple seasons, knocking down three-point shots. Still finding her rhythm here at the early part of the season, but overall this game, you said she gets that quick one for a first play call of the game, and it has been systematic in how she's found ways and areas on the floor to be such a threat.
Yeah, again, we talked about Sue and Cheryl and LaChina were talking pregame about the struggles the last 3 games for Jackie Young. She'd missed 17 of her last 18 threes. Nice 3 or 4 from Phoenix.
Yeah, she's talked about playing with a heavy heart. And for Jackie Young, too, she had a solid start to the season, but it has. It's just been the efficiency, I think, more so than anything.
Just a few points away from 3,500 in her career. Steps it back. And another whistle. Yeah, it's her head coach, Becky Hammond, talked with us yesterday about Jackie. Just sometimes it's easy to forget because they're superstars on the floor that they're also human beings, Sarah. And Jackie really hasn't shed too much light on why she's playing with that heavy heart right now, but Becky said we have her back, and we know that she is going to get back to it. She's done that so far this afternoon. Wilson doubles. The kick out to Bell, fakes the 3. Young, sidestep, top of the key 3 is good. What an afternoon for Jackie Young. .16 and counting, just 1 away from 3,500, and a hard foul by Bell on Burton, helping her back up. Nothing intentional about that, just 2 players going for a 50-50 ball. Vegas on an 11-1 run at the moment to take this comfortable lead. So after kind of laying an egg in their last 2 second halves, that's a big reason they've dropped back-to-back games. Vegas locked in and focused in this 3rd quarter this afternoon. Burton doubled, tried to swing it out. Talbot stepped in the passing lane. Jackie Young for 3,500 and counting. And Young lets out a yell What a day in the Bay for Jack.
As you guys were talking about, Becky Hammond very pleased with her team's defense in the second half. Of course, as she told us, that was a huge focus. But in that timeout, super happy, a lot of energy in that huddle, saying keep up that defense, guys.
Salon over the outstretched arm of Turner, trying to get the Valkyries back into this one.
And that's going to be a major factor for them to continue to operate and find the shots they want on the offensive side. They shot the three well. They've had a tough time slowing down the Aces offense.
Young looking for more. A little bit short there. Bell taps it to herself. Out to Gray. What a pass underneath by Gray to Wilson. Asia Wilson battling for Valkyries on that possession.
I was just about to say, she had the entire Golden State team blanketing her. She still gets the finish.
I was trying to think of some Norse mythology term that I could use there. Couldn't do it. Wilson with the rebounds.
That's your lane. Not mine. I'll need to study up.
Double-double now for Asia. 24 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks. Playing like the MVP that she is. Young into the 20s alongside her teammate Wilson.
And this is Jackie Young. And now she just, you knew she was going to come back to finding her shots with the efficiency and the spots and her being able to score at all 3 levels. And it's great to see.
A new season high for Jackie Young. And we still got a whole lot of time to play here at Ball Hollow this afternoon. Here, the offensive rebound, and she's fouled.
A big shout though to our studio crew. LaChina, Cheryl, Sue. I think Cheryl wanted to see some better defense out of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Sue talking about Jackie Young getting going. So far, the Aces have nailed it.
Well, you mentioned it, Sarah. Everybody knows they can score. They've got the 4-time MVP. They've got 4 Olympians on the team. Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young. But it's if they wanted to pay attention. Again, on the defensive side. Everybody who watched Thursday's game down at Dallas, there were so many just Olay defensive possessions in the second half. Like, who was on Paige Beckers? Who was on Enrique Iguodala?
Look, it's a long season,
Yeah.
and I think for all of these teams across the board, we see such high level of talent, competition, skills, teams coming together, different forms of chemistry. It can be ups and downs throughout the course of it, and that's the fun part of it. That's what we get to experience.
And a turnover by Turner. Let's see if the Valkyries can take advantage. Charles blocked by Bell, and Lee here blocked by Wilson. Not much space, and Wilson closed it.
And that was it. Just Wilson making sure to keep a knee here underneath the basket without an angle to try and get that finish off.
20 seconds to go, third quarter. It has belonged to the defending champs. 25-11. Outscoring the Valkyries so far in this frame, led by this player. Young keeping Charles on her hip. The stutter step, the pull-up. Wilson, another rebound. And she's fouled. Now, this is just the defending champs making a little bit of a statement here in this third quarter.
And a huge part of that has been the catalyst of Asia Wilson and what she does at both ends. Look at her, just walling a knee here underneath the basket. She couldn't create a good angle, doing an excellent job both with her physicality, but also just staying vertical on the play. Comes up with an offensive rebound on this end. It's a lot of the details and focus that the Aces have shown here so far this afternoon. But there's still a lot of time left. We got a full another quarter left. It's a feisty Valkyries team. So for Becky Hammond, who told Caroline at the half, she said, we got to play a full court. And so that's the continued efforts I think you're going to have to monitor for both these sides.
93rd 20-10 game for Asia Wilson. Got 26 and 14 in 26 minutes today. Whew. Has the steal there. Got her hand in the passing lane. Look at Wilson running the floor. Gray gets it to her. 3 defenders around her. Kirsten Bell. Wide left, Turner to tap in. Didn't need to do that.
Grab it and go back up with it. You got it. You had 2 players trying to keep Wilson off the glass, left her open.
Chen, the lefty scoop and score. You mentioned it. These Valkyries are not going to go quietly today.
No, and I would like to see that a little bit more uptick in areas that they can find some of those easier looks, in particular if they can in transition.
Young with 21. Wilson with 26. 2-player game here. Young to a cutting Turner. That was beautiful by Las Vegas. once again, quieting the crowd here at Chase Center. Final 5 seconds of the third. Salon can't connect from 3. And the dominance, third quarter by the defending Beautiful Days outside.
I've never had a bad time in the Bay.
That's what we like to hear.
Let me come back anytime.
Kate Scott, Syracuse, Caroline Pineda with you today on NBC. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Crowd trying to get their Valkyries back into this after they were dominated in that third quarter, 29-13. Jackie Young and Asia Wilson leading the charge. 26 from Wilson, 21 this afternoon from this player, Jackie Young. Down with 5 against the taller Ami here. Gotta get a shot off. Talbot heaves. And that is gonna be a possession that Golden State wants back.
Yeah, bailout there. Because overall they did a really solid job. It was an isolation with Young and didn't really have a lot going. So for Talbot to have an opportunity here at the line is not something you want. It's had a big part of the third quarter. It was not just the offense, but defense of Las Vegas.
And the WNBA app is your home court for all things WNBA. Stay in the game with the latest schedule, where to watch, game alerts, and more. To scan that QR code to download it if you don't have it yet. The WNBA app built by Deloitte. The crowd is still into it. Trying to will their Valkyries to find some rhythm here.
Find some rhythm. And they've shot the 3 ball well, but in the paint is where they've really struggled. Just 5 of 23.
And that's a big reason why. Turner in there standing tall now.
I don't know percentages that well, but I think typically some of those looks.
5 of 24, that's not great.
You want to capitalize on.
It's not great. Haven't taken math since high school, but that's not good.
The aces, the game plan, the discipline, both ends, and how well they have operated offensively.
Got a foul. Chelsea Gray. Said there was going to be at least 30, maybe more friends and family in attendance this afternoon because, again, Chelsea Gray, Bay Area native, born in Hayward, spent time in Castro Valley, went to school out in Manteca and St. Mary's in Stockton, and said this is home. It's pretty special to get to play professional ball here now. That one off the mark, bounced around, knocked by Gray. Into the hands of Jackie Young. Off the screen from Turner. Young, the fadeaway. 2 more for Jackie Young. 23 and counting today.
She's comfortable. Whether it's 3-point shots, getting to her spots in her intermediate game, she's been reading the defense really well.
Salon high off the window. Counted in the foul.
And that's a strong play by Janelle Salon. Mentioned her early. She's just in her 2nd year. And turns the corners, got some size, some bulk there. Despite the fact that Turner's trying to come over to help. And she's a big part of what this Valkyries team wants to be and why they've been so solid with the play of their bench. The size she adds in where she can score and also her improvements defensively.
10 and counting off the bench now for the 2nd-year player out of Paris, France, Janelle Salon. Again, we talked about she and Kennedy Carter being a couple of the best bench players so far this season. Haven't seen much of Kennedy in this 2nd half because of a hard fall she took in the 1st quarter. We did see her briefly in the 3rd. But that is all we know at this time. If we hear anything more, we'll share it with you. And a good look there from Young to Turner. And on cue, it sounds like Caroline does have more on Kennedy Carter.
Well, Kate, you mentioned those hard falls she took in the 1st half. She did walk slowly off the court to the locker room at the end of the 1st half and was late to come back to the bench after halftime. She was on the exercise bike earlier in the 2nd half. No injury designation from the team, but Kennedy has been clapping for teammates in huddles and encouraging them, so still staying very involved there on the bench.
Yeah, on cue, Caroline putting her hand out to give a teammate 5-6 points in her 10 minutes off the bench in the 1st half.
Yeah, I think overall, if she is laboring a little, whatever the circumstance, the group and the players that have been on the floor have been clicking for Becky Hammond and how they continue to operate and to build this lead. We keep saying it, there is a lot of time left in this game, but the Aces have just seemed like they've really found their rhythm and have come with a focus and an attention to detail that I think has been being asked of them, and we've not seen the same always level of consistency throughout 4 quarters as we have seen here today.
And Veronica Burton. And Zenda Lassini checking back in for Golden State. Charles and Chen will take a seat. Well, and on that note, as Hayes steps back to the line, you win 3 titles in 4 years, Sarah. How difficult is it to refine that focus, especially with the way Vegas started last year and had to dig themselves out of that huge hole?
Kate, I'm going to be honest. I never won 3 titles in 4 years, so I can't speak to good honesty. I can't speak to the challenge.
Come on, but you won something at some point, Kustok. Wilson diving on the floor, knocking it back to Talbot.
You do have to take into account that that's a part of it.
Oh, what a shot by Alyssa Smith.
And what is that motivation, that hungry, how you come together too. It's just new group, new players. I know the core has been consistent the same. You could even point to the way the Aces season started last year and their ability to be able to get it together and turn it around. But there's so many factors that come into play. That is not to say, though, that what they built, how they attack things, the approach they have, the amount of just sheer talent. And you look at a player like Chelsea Gray, among a lot of things she's working on. She said, I know Rebecca Brunson has 5. I only have 4. Our teammate in the studio, Sue Bird, with 4 as well. But I do think for all of these players, that goal will never go away, and it will never be a part of what they think about when they step on the floor.
Wilson down to Smith, who came over in a mid-season trade last year and was a huge part of championship number 3 last year.
She has talked about feeling as good as she has in any season with how she's come in, her preparation, the conditioning, all aspects of it.
Thornton from the corner for 3. Again, Golden State maybe down a whole lot right now, but still plenty of time if they can get something going.
Well, especially with the way that they put up 3-point shots. You know, they may not play at a blistering fast pace, but they can't come at you with a high volume of 3s.
Yeah, it was their 12th made 3 this afternoon. Young, no. Picked up by Williams, so an empty possession for the Aces. Williams tried to get it to Stokes. Stokes tried to save it, couldn't do so. Again, it's turnover number 10 for Natalie Nakase's Golden State Valkyries. That's what they average per game, about 10, 11 per game.
And this is a Las Vegas team that doesn't necessarily turn you over a ton, but those have been areas where they've been able to be mindful, to exploit, to take advantage, and the Aces as well have done a nice job in themselves taking care of the basketball for the most part.
Really playing great defense, limiting Golden State. They're 12 of 29 from 3, 41% from outside the arc, but just 31% from the floor overall. Golden State making
Great, good defense.
26 of the 39 in the second half. And Young looking for more. Instead, she'll get it back to Melissa Smith, who draws the foul. And Jackie Young, we've already talked about the double-double by Wilson, 26 and 14.
But that plays an example of just how well she's been reading the defense. And you see there, off of the ball screen, you got a trap, you got 2 bigs in Thornton and Williams coming over where they often put a lot of pressure, and instead they're able to pick that apart and find a look for Smith at the basket.
That's what I was going to say. Double-double for Asia Wilson, points and rebounds. Jackie Young just an assist away from a point assist double-double as Smith gets the roll. Well, tonight, we've got Sunday Night Baseball, and it's a rivalry dating back to the 1800s. The Cubbies head into St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. Jason Benetti in the booth with future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols. And the 2016 World Champ Anthony Rizzo is going to be in the Cubs dugout. That's tonight live here on NBC and Peacock. It's going to be fun.
It is. I'm from the South Side, so, but I still, you know, Paul's near Wrigleyville, so.
You're a Sox fan, huh?
Unbiased.
Williams short on that one, but then takes it away. One of the best defenders in the WNBA, having a frustrating afternoon. But that's a step in the right direction.
In a couple things here for the Valkyries. One, you want to see these type of plays. You know they're going to continue to play this out. But just getting your rhythm back, getting your feel, and how you're able to find some footing at this end.
Kick ball there. It'll be Vegas ball on the sideline, 14 on the shot clock.
Overall, Vegas has really picked them apart on this end of the floor. In their reads, they've been patient. They've not gotten sped up. But there's a lot of areas that the Valkyries typically present more disruption defensively, and they have not had that effect here this afternoon.
You know, big cheer goes up for the Lithuanian rookie, Juste Utite, who was the first ever Valkyries draft pick in last year's draft. Just checking in again. She just debuted earlier this week on Monday against the Connecticut Sun.
A lot of optimism for her. Just 20 years old. She got size. It's 6 foot. And she's someone knocked down a three-point shot. Just the areas on the floor where she tries to be impactful.
They're very, very happy to have her here at Golden State as Burton gets whistled for the foul. Because, as you mentioned, Sarah, just 20 years old. She turned pro when she was 13 overseas. So one of those European players who has played a lot of professional basketball for a lot of years, and now Natalie Nakase and Golden State looking forward to her finding her fit here in San Francisco. Second half has belonged to the defending champs, though. What a pass from Gray down to Smith. Burton pass Jackie Young for the deuce.
And that's where we saw from Burton, we see it from Chen some. You're used to the Valkyries kind of getting set up in their half-court offense, and it's nice to see when they're just quick on the attack and looking for those early drives before defense gets set.
Gray, a step back. A bit short. Wilson another rebound, her 15th today. Young too strong. Talbot the offensive rebound. Young with Burton all over. Becky Hammond will call time. The Valkyries, along with the Golden State Warriors, and Joe said when this team was launched last season, we want to win a championship in our first 5 seasons in the WNBA. We've seen what Vegas has done, and we want to get there. We want to get there quick.
Yeah, and give credit to both of these organizations with what they've poured in terms of infrastructure, in terms of resources. Just how they have helped both their coaching staff, players, front offices make those things available. Natalie Nakase, we talked to her before the game, and she said Joe hiring her and trying to put together a staff. He said hire good people, and I think we see that in both of these sides of just the people that care about not just winning, but about these players as humans and as individuals, and that goes a long way.
Yeah, I mean, a good hand pass to Asia Wilson. And with more on that conversation, let's go over to Caroline.
Well, in talking to Becky Hammond, I thought it was so neat that she said Natalie has really built a team that just embodies her and embodies her competitive spirit. And I feel like in talking to Natalie and the players, you definitely get that sense, guys.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Caroline. Haven't maybe showed it as much as we've seen in the last couple of games with his dominant performance by the defending champs as Williams gets up for the rebounds. But the previous 7 games so far, as Williams lays it up, but is going to get whistles for the offensive foul.
Oh, there's ups and downs throughout season. Even someone like Gabby Williams said, I feel like me and Natalie are very similar in our disposition, how we talk, how we communicate. And same thing she said, I think for both of these coaches, they are straight shooters. They will tell it like it is. They make sure that they're tough-minded. We talk about their playing careers, point guards, and just what they have fought for to get to the places they are at. But I think overall, too, when players know that you care about them and you pour into them, that also helps you to be as direct as you need to be in trying to make sure that you're elevating the levels of play.
And a little care and concern for Veronica Burton. You can see holding that left leg. Took some contact on that previous play. And an offensive foul on Asia Wilson. Burton still trying to kind of massage out that quad area. Second on Wilson this afternoon. Another dominant day for the MVP. That was Utite off the mark. Way down to Smith. Too hot to handle. Valkyries ball. Best to do it. One of the best nicknames, too, the point guard. As you mentioned, 4 WNBA titles, 3 with Vegas, 1 with LA. Gold medals to her name. One of the best to play the game. Driving kick. After Chen, around and out it goes. Let's see what Gray has here. She thought about it. Thought about the pass to Talbot. Young with 23. Oh, great pass from Jackie Young. Down to Smith, couldn't finish. Kept in by Chen. And that one is good for Yotite.
Yotite, let's see it go through, and a good penetration kick and push here by Caitlin Chen. Yeah, we're talking about Chelsea's passes. That was a beauty. I know it didn't finish as an assist, but for Young, how well she's been seeing the floor.
And you mentioned that shot of his. Off the heel from Wilson. Yotite, a driving kick. Williams with a 3. Golden State's not done yet. An 11-0 Valkyries run, and we got a game here.
What they've done is knocked down some three-point shots, but they've done a better job in securing possessions here and slowing down this Vegas offense. Be an important possession here for Vegas to create some more breathing room.
And the Aces shut the door like Becky Hammon has been asking them to do. Haven't really played a great full 40 yet this season. Knocked away by Thornton. And a traveling violation on Wenentanda. So excited to have that ball bounce to her.
That's a tough play. She just gets herself in the ball game. I know a young player, a little excited to get it and was ready to get quick with the get ahead. But that's exactly what the defense wanted to do.
Yeah.
They're going to trap some, they're going to blitz the ball, they're going to try and force some turnovers here.
They got their turn, but they couldn't hang on to it. And then Thornton whistled for the foul on Wilson. So to the line goes Asia Wilson. Difficult last about 20 or so seconds. Wilson with 26 and 15 this afternoon. Make it 27. Talbot back in, Turner to the bench. Aces looking to snap a 2-game slide. Fell to the Sparks a week ago Saturday. Lost at Dallas on Thursday. 28 and counting for Wilson.
I know it's a 13-point game, but those felt like some critical free throws for Vegas. Again, to settle back in after Golden State was making a little run.
Hadn't scored since the 5-minute mark, Sarah. That one just rolls off the rim for Salon. Again, another, in close games like this, right? It's those moments. It's the traveling violation, it's the foul, the 2 free throws, and then it's
would have had an opportunity for an and
not
one.
going down. And 2 instead of a chance at 3 for Salon. 5th personal on Steph Talbot. Salon hits the first. And Salon hits them both. Golden State known for its defense so far this season.
Full court pressure, see if they can create turnover here.
See what they got. 80 seconds to go. Young. And the Aces break the press. Match playing keep away. Golden State not fouling. Gray, the no look. Talbot, short on the corner 3. Here comes Golden State. Salon, slot triple, and it goes! An 8-point game. And the Aces call time. And Valhalla is alive once again. Okay, just a reset timeout, so we will not huddle.
And you see right here, this is exactly what the Valkyries want to do. They'll drive, get it out to three-point shots. A lot comfortable from there, especially just off the catch on the break.
Gotta get a stop here. A 16-2 Valkyries run. Young. Gray from the elbow, and Chelsea Gray is good. And then the finger to the lips, telling her hometown crowd to quiet down.
Another reset timeout. It's silence of the crowd in making that shot, but overall for Vegas, you've seen a patience in how they've been able to handle pressure, whether it's in the full court, whether it's in the half court. They do a very good job of surveying, and even when those traps come, passing out of them.
First bucket this afternoon for Chelsea Gray. There's ice in our veins. Here's your Tite, no shot. Shot waved off. Foul on the floor. Nikoske was asking for it to be a shooting foul.
Of course she was. Definitely.
Like any good coach, his players fouled outside the
You
arc.
got her well before that.
Just gonna be two. Just gonna be two. So first free throws attempted in the WNBA for Yuste Yotite. Hits them both. 8-point game with 44 seconds to go. More full court pressure from the Valkyries. Wilson over to Young. Not fouling just yet. Not just yet. Over to Gray. 33 seconds to go. Aces doing well, passing the ball around. And then a foul on Thornton. After they've gotten it down to 7 on the shot clock. Another one of those moments.
I think is that her 6? No.
Number 4 on
Okay.
Thornton.
Well ahead. Overall, though, again, the patience of the Aces, the balance, the spacing on the floor. You feel really comfortable with how they've been able to move and pass through this Valkyries defense.
Talbot hits the first, pushing the lead back to 9. Good afternoon for Steph Talbot as well. Natalie Nikoske and the Valkyries will call time.
Early into it, but continuing to have gauges against some of the best in the league.
Well, and if you want to be a part of the championship conversation, you have to go through challenges like this. Salon short off the shins of Talbot. So 22.6 to go. 8-10 right now for the Aces. And another timeout. So Las Vegas just under 23 seconds away, Sarah, from improving to 5-3 on the season, snapping that little 2-game slide. And as you mentioned, Becky Hammond has used the mountain climbing analogy a few times this season. 44 games in the season. They're just starting to climb. I asked her where she was in the W, 5-2 on the year. They'd won 2 in a row. Just behind the Minnesota Lynx, who we're going to see tomorrow night on Peacock and NBCSN. I don't think a lot of folks saw that coming. Olivia Miles, leader in the clubhouse for Rookie of the Year, and Cheryl Reeve and the Lynx doing what they do. In it comes to Salon. Long 2 is off the mark. Rebound picked up by the Bay Area native Chelsea Gray. And that should just about do it this afternoon here at the Chase Center. Crowd applauding a great effort by both teams. And Las Vegas will snap that 2-game slide. And in the process, get Becky Hammond her 150th win as a head coach here in the WNBA as those friends and former